Mama, I'm back for another Thursday night here to just remind you that you're actually meant to feel good in motherhood. And just how do we do that? How do we do that? That's why I go live every Thursday night to help inspire you to do just that. And tonight we're going to be unveiling this often overlooked connection between nutrition and PMS, right? There is a link, and I want to empower you to actually embrace your cycle with a little bit more knowledge and confidence so that you don't feel victim to this. So if you are feeling victim to your PMS symptoms simply because you're a menstruating woman, like, you're in the right place, because there are a lot of things that you can actually do to support yourself, okay? And I'm here tonight to talk to you about two very essential pieces of the puzzle if you're experiencing a lot of negative mood symptoms around that time of the month. Okay, so as we get started here, just share one word in the comments with everybody that describes your typical PMS experiment. I'm reminding you, I am inside my group, Rebuild Your Brain, that is full of mothers that are likely feeling the same way that you are. So please share and help us feel in solidarity about how we are feeling around PMS symptoms. So if you don't know me, I'm Lindsay Marie, and after 6 years of navigating the overwhelm, the exhaustion, just the general irritability that comes with motherhood sometimes, I discovered a natural and sustainable way to overcome it. So now I'm a mental health nutrition coach, empowering other moms to do the same by shifting from barely surviving to actually thriving in life by rebuilding your brain's natural feel-good systems. So one of the very first things that I noticed when I changed my diet in the very early parts of my wellness journey is that my periods became more regular. That proved to me that the choice I was making was the right choice for my body. I was on the right path. It also proved to me that I might not need some really complicated solution to start feeling better, like hormone treatment or something along those lines, or thyroid or adrenal, like specific stuff. That actually changing my diet made a whole world of difference. Like, not only were my periods more regular, I had more energy from doing that. I had a long ways to go, but just by doing that did start to make me feel better and motivated me enough to keep trying. So before then, I really had irregular periods. Like, I didn't have energy at all. My period would last a long time. There'd be spotting in between, and really that totally went away when I cleaned up my diet. But I'm not just talking about like what to eat. I'm not going to tell you what to eat, but I do want to empower you with some knowledge to help build some confidence and really take ownership of that time of the month and not feel like such a victim. So first, let's bust into some myths around PMS. One myth is that it's normal. PMS is normal and you can't avoid it, right? No. So it's actually normal. You're designed to feel good. It's not normal for you and everyone around you to be the victim of your bad mood once every month or twice every month, depending on how often this is happening to you. It's just not always that simple, but it can be avoided. And you shouldn't settle for, well, I'm a woman and this is how I'm going to feel once a month, so like this is just normal and unavoidable and I'll just have to deal. That's not true. Another myth is that PMS is all in your head, right? So maybe you or your husband or whoever is living with you thinks that your PMS is in your head. Like, getting your period is some permission slip to lose your mind once a month, so you just do because you can. No! If you didn't have to lose your mind, you wouldn't lose your mind. This is not all in your head. There are very biochemical reasons going on in your body. There's biochemical things going on in your body, especially during that time of the month, okay, that when you're blind to those biochemical reasons, they will entirely affect your mood. You will be a victim to your mood in that circumstance. Another myth might be, or is, that hormone imbalance causes PMS. So this isn't necessarily a myth. It could be. Of course, hormone imbalance can cause PMS, but something's causing the hormone imbalance, right? And it's not your PMS causing your hormone imbalance. Your PMS is a symptom. So the way you handle stress is going to affect every system in your body. So if you learn how to tolerate stress better, that could have a ripple effect on everything without going down the oftentimes complicated road of hormone therapy, adrenal fixes, thyroid fixes can all get complicated pretty quickly. So learn how to tolerate stress. And also another myth is that, it kind of goes with the first one where like it's unavoidable and it's normal. The other one is that diet and lifestyle like have very little impact on how your PMS is going. So diet and lifestyle actually can have everything to do with it, and if not altogether, at least a significant impact can be made by adjusting your diet and your lifestyle. What you put in your mouth actually matters, you know that. And at that time of the month, also any self-care that you wish you would do, like that's the time of the month that you should try to be disciplined about doing those things. So I'll get more into why in a little bit, but have you fallen for any of these myths? Like what have you considered might be causing your PMS? Only the hormones, or do you know that something else is going on? What do you feel like that something else might be? Share in the comments. Let me see what you got to say, because it's way more fun to talk to people through comments than to just sit here and be a talking head to you. So I love your engagement, and yeah, please feel free. Again, I'm inside my group, which is just full of moms. We're not on like public, you're not on my profile, you're not on my public profile. So first, let's talk about why what you put in your mouth, especially premenstrually, actually matters. So leading up to your period and even during your period, your blood sugar sensitivity increases in general. So everyone's a bio-individual. This is not a rule across the board. Nothing ever is when it comes to diet, but your blood sugar sensitivity generally increases leading up to your period, during your period, especially if you're experiencing those PMS symptoms. That might be one reason why, is that your blood sugar actually is really sensitive around your period. You might notice that you get really munchy, or it's really easy just to break all the promises that you made to yourself about your diet, right? Like namely, like I'm not going to eat sugar, but then I'm getting my period and I just can't say no to sugar, or I can't say no to carbs. I just can't during that time. So then you eat them, right? And then your blood sugar spikes really, really quickly, okay? Faster than any other time of the month. Your blood sugar is spiking when you eat this sugar and carbs, and not long after, your blood sugar tanks. Again, even faster than any other time of the month. And when your blood sugar is the lowest, what do? You reach for the sweets and the carbs again. So you can see how this is a vicious cycle. And I'm wondering, have you ever noticed changes in your cravings? Do you notice them, or eating habits before your period? Or you might get your period. This is what happens to me sometimes if I'm not paying attention. I get my period and I'm like, oh, that's why I was like a cookie monster like 2 days ago. Who has ever had that like revelation in hindsight? Like how do those cravings and those indulgences actually impact your mood and your energy levels? What do you know? So Stephanie says, that's why I ate a bunch of cookie dough. Yep, probably. Probably. If it's around that time of the month. And actually there's another time of the month that it could be happening too, but generally right around your period is the most common time that your blood sugar is going to be as wonky as it ever is. So the number one thing you can do to control your PMS, if this is landing, if you feel like the cookie monster around your period, is to be very, very deliberate about eating protein every 3 to 4 hours. So you can start it like 1 week. If you want to be kind of proactive, start about 1 week before you get your period, or you know you're going to get your period. Or just as soon as you feel that little like change happening in your mood, be like, I gotta eat protein, and then just be on a schedule. I need to eat every 3 to 4 hours. And I would actually err on the side of 3 hours, because during that time of the month, you are under naturally more stress. And when you're under more stress, your body needs more protein to help you cope. So just get that protein in your body every 3 to 4 hours, err on the side of 3. So doing this is going to help you balance your blood sugar, which will help you balance your mood, okay? Which will help you tolerate stress better. Okay, so remember what I said before about hormones, right? You can do all the things to fix the things, but if you don't figure out how to tolerate stress better, you're just going to be spinning your wheels. So eating protein is going to help you across the board. It's going to put less stress on every system in your body when you can tolerate stress better. And everybody wins, basically, when you eat protein every 3 to 4 hours, premenstrually and during your period. So just do it. Just do it, mama. Eat enough protein. Jennifer says, oh yes, I've experienced both, especially realizing it when my cycle is off. Yeah, your body's like getting confused. Usually it's more salty stuff, but always need a sweet part too. Yes. All right. So enough about blood sugar for now. I think I might bring it up later. Again, I don't remember. But I want to talk to you about why self-care especially is important during that time of the month. So estrogen and serotonin are increasing in your body. Generally, again, everybody's cycle and body is different, but if you go on the average 28-day cycle, your estrogen and your serotonin are increasing in your body on days like 7 to 11-ish, okay? And then it's increasing again the 17th through the 19th day of your period, or of your cycle. And so, pay attention. You might notice that these days are easier days of the month, okay? When estrogen rises, serotonin rises, but when estrogen dips, serotonin dips. Serotonin is your happy engine, okay? So we have all this stuff going on as women in our bodies, and like one of those things is that our happy engine naturally is dropping when our estrogen is dropping. So that's happening between days like 12 and 16, like kind of right in the middle, and then it's happening again on days 20 through 28. So the days 20 through 28 are the ones that moms are usually most familiar with, but it could be happening in your cycle a little earlier too, because your estrogen drops twice during your cycle. So you might notice these are the days that you're irritable, you're anxious, you're edgy, you're worried, you're ragey, okay? And guess what the symptoms of low serotonin are? Same thing. Irritable, anxious, ragey, worried, okay? So low serotonin, let me give you a few other low serotonin symptoms. And as I say them, just think about like, yeah, that is kind of how I feel. That describes my PMS. Because if it does describe your PMS, then it is very likely that is connected to low serotonin. So it can also feel like negativity, depression, low self-esteem, hyperactivity, obsessive thoughts, you're being controlling, you're being a perfectionist. Even panic attacks are a sign of low serotonin, and you might get those more premenstrually. Afternoon and evening cravings, when those sneak up more often than any other time of the month. Insomnia, if you have a hard time sleeping during those times of the month, and just being a night owl, not being able to put yourself to sleep. So give me a yes in the comments if these are things that you struggle with premenstrually, so that I know if you're struggling with this serotonin piece of the puzzle. And now that you know that, if this is resonating with you, then you get to start focusing on supporting your serotonin during those times of the month in ways that are going to naturally boost it, right? So now you know, I just told you can't unknow this. When, like 2 times during your cycle, your serotonin is tanking and your body is naturally going to decrease that happy engine. So we want to try to find ways to naturally boost that engine and give it as much support as we can, knowing that it's struggling just because we're in that time of the month. So again, just like with the blood sugar issue, the number one thing you can start doing now is eating protein every 3 to 4 hours. I told you how that supports your blood sugar, but how the heck does that support your serotonin? Okay, how does that do that? So protein is made up of amino acids, and amino acids are the fuel for serotonin. Got it? So when you eat protein every 3 to 4 hours, you're not only supporting your blood sugar and your mood and your stress tolerance in that way, you're also giving your serotonin the fuel that it needs in order to fire. Make sense? Stephanie says anxiety and the crankiness. Yes, the anxiety and the crankiness. And you were also the cookie dough monster. So yeah, you might have both things going on, the low serotonin, the blood sugar issues, and just being aware of those and focusing on those could really make all the difference for you in your mood during those times of the month. So another way to find out if your serotonin is linked to your PMS is by taking the mood checkup. It don't matter if you've taken it before, you can take it as many times as you want at this point. So far, I haven't changed that yet. So what that's going to do is screen all of your mood symptoms and show you how many of those mood symptoms actually correlate to low serotonin. And then it's also going to give you a handful of these self-care ideas that I'm talking about outside of the protein to help boost your serotonin naturally during that time of the month, focusing on some of those self-care things that I mentioned in the mood checkup during like when you're feeling these PMS symptoms can help you a little bit in the moment. So something to do. Just practically speaking, like eating protein every 3 to 4 hours can sound super overwhelming to most mothers, right? Especially if they're like skipping meals right now. Like now you want me to eat every 3 to 4 hours. Like here's the deal. First rule, perfection is not the goal right now, right? The goal is to help stabilize your blood sugar, feed your body those amino acids, and improve your mood. Okay, that's the rule, right? We want to get protein in your mouth to improve your mood. So throw out all the rules right now. I'm not saying forever, I'm just saying for now, around avoiding like some of those convenient protein choices that might break your food rules, okay? Or the rules around variety, right? Like I have to have a variety. Like for right now, can you just get protein in your body, mama, so that you can start feeling better? Find something easy that can get you started. And then once you have the routine established, once it's like, oh yeah, I am eating every 3 to 4 hours. Okay, this is good. Now you've gotten over like the first hurdle, and then you can go into like, okay, I should really have more variety. I should really be prepping things ahead of time. I shouldn't be eating this convenience food protein. Like, just don't think you have to be perfect right out of the gate. Right out of the gate, you just need a routine. So, or even just break the rules during the worst part of your cycle. Just decide you're going to break the protein, like the food rules, as far as I'm not going to eat this because it's processed or it's got this ingredient. Obviously, if you're allergic to something, don't eat it. But the rules that you've just made up as like good practices, just give yourself some grace for a week out of the month and be like, no, I just need to get protein in my mouth. So real quick in the comments, throw whatever protein choices stick out to you as the easiest, most convenient thing that feels achievable for you to commit to, that you could eat every 3 to 4 hours. And if you're having a hard time coming up with ideas or just want some accountability around this with other moms who are challenged with the same thing, I have a free 3-day challenge coming up at the beginning of the year in January 2nd through the 4th. So you may have seen it in the group. It's the New Year's Protein Promise, a 3-day mood boosting challenge for moms. And I'll put the sign up link in the comments here when I'm done. When you join that challenge, you're going to understand why all the things that you've tried before just haven't worked and aren't getting you the results that you want. You're going to understand that it really has nothing to do with willpower and that there's not anything wrong with you, okay? And you're going to know exactly what you need to do each day to start feeling more energy and enthusiasm about your life, and really make it real, because I'm talking to a bunch of exhausted and burnt out mamas, so I'm going to make it real on how do we actually accomplish this, and also understand even more about that sneaky role that blood sugar plays and how you're feeling and what to do about it so that you can feel better more of the time. Okay, so if you're ready to get serious about this part of your wellness journey and join me in this free challenge, whether you're watching the replay or you're watching me live, just give me a me in the comments so that I know you're with me, all right, and that you're serious about getting started with this really, honestly, simple task. But my rule is it's never easy to make something simple, so I'm offering this challenge to do just that, to help you make it simple. So put any last minute comments or questions, thoughts, whatever you have for me in the comments here while I summarize what we've talked about tonight. So you are not destined to PMS just because you are a menstruating woman. You do not need to suffer from PMS. Diet and lifestyle can actually make all the difference. Why? Because your choices help you balance your blood sugar and they help you boost your serotonin. And the number one thing that you can do right now, if you haven't heard me in the back, is to eat protein every 3 to 4 hours, okay? And remember, protein over perfection. Break whatever rules you have to do to get protein in your mouth for this moment in order to be a happier person during this time of the month. Get protein in your mouth. And if you need ideas or accountability or both to get more protein in your diet and do it even though you're exhausted and overwhelmed and burnt out, then join the New Year's Protein Promise, the 3-day mood boosting challenge for moms, which I'll put the link in the comments when I'm done talking to you. And remember that I'm here every Thursday night to inspire you to shift from barely surviving to truly, truly, truly thriving. So I want to remind you that you are meant to feel good in motherhood. So invite all of your mom friends, and I'm going to see you here, same time, same place, next week. All right? I love you, Mama. Thanks for hanging out.